Hello, everyone. Welcome to Chris O Show on MuskokaLimit.com, or you could be watching on your TV Muskoka. Either way, thank you for joining us. We're always happy to have you, and we're still looking for another sponsor. And so, if anyone wants to sponsor the podcast going forward, we do 4 a month. We'd love to have you. Make sure you hit me up, Chris at MuskokaLimit.com. Now, that being said, without further ado, two very special guests today. Karen Cassian, who's known me forever and goes back with family members of mine even further, and Christina MacBean, and they are both here representing the Huntsville Art Society, aka HAS. So welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
Oh, that was really good. That's in unison.
We've been practicing. Yeah.
So part of why we started chatting, and I invited the two of you to come talk about HAS and Huntsville Art Society and all the good things, is because I know there's some shows coming up. There's right now an exhibition at the art gallery. So I guess let's start with that. The art gallery exhibition and how that came to be. And it's in the Algonquin Theater going on through March 27th.
Mm-hmm. Well, I should talk about that because I'm part of the gallery committee. This show is called From the Collections of, and it's the second annual one. We did one last year, and it's been curated by Noreen Mitchell, who's done a lot of work to put it together. There's 7 families involved, and they've very kindly donated parts of their personal collections to our show to be hung for a month. And each piece has a story that goes along with it. And that makes the show, actually. It's really interesting to see why people collect art and the different art. Some of it's local, some of it is we've never heard of before. But we had a great opening. Lots of people came, and we get a really good response from doing it. So I'm hoping that we can do it every year if we actually were filling a space that no artist wanted, but it's one of our most popular shows, so we may continue to do it.
That's amazing. And yeah, I walked through there and it was stunning, some of the work in there. And it was cool because it was so eclectic. It wasn't just one style, right? So
and it's they're nicest pieces, so it's a really nice, makes for a really nice show.
Definitely. And I love that. So yeah, 100%. I think you should do it again and again. Like, keep going. I love it. Now with that gallery, and since we're on the note in terms of in the Algonquin Theater in the Partners Hall space, I know generally you try and get like you said, some artists in there or whatnot. Now, how does that work if someone's an artist and they want to touch base and become part of Huntsville Art Society and get in those shows?
Shall I answer, Christina?
Yeah, go ahead, Karen.
Okay. Well, it's our home gallery. The Algonquin Theater is our home gallery, and we put out calls. We have a HAS newsletter, which is set up. Don Huddleston is in charge of it, and it's an excellent newsletter, if we do say so ourselves. It goes out to over 300 people, and it's got everything that HAS does in it. So if you're not on that, you should be. So we just put a call out for shows for 2025, and they're monthly shows.
Okay.
And there's a fee involved you have to be a member. Well, you don't have to be a member. If you're not a member, you pay $45 extra which gives you a membership for 1 year. So anyone can apply. But so yeah, so it doesn't take any time at all to fill up the shows for 2025. And I think that's it. Christina, there's a fee for it. The summer is obviously more expensive than the off season.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, and we have the rights to the walls in Partners Hall, so there's lots of meetings and things that happen there. Obviously people go through when there's a show in the evening, but it so far it seems to work for us.
Yeah, and that was actually really great. I remember when the Huntsville Art Society first talked to the town about getting that space a few years ago, after the train station space went away.
It was sold for like $1 or something.
It was sold for $1. And so I thought that was really great how you collaborated with the town and said, well, we have to find a space for our artists. And and having those walls in there is a really good space to fill up. First of all, it makes it look way better, because just having blank walls or generic art isn't the same as having this original curated pieces in there. And I think that working with the town to make that happen was really awesome. So kudos to you guys for that. Question regarding the shows for the summer. Are you guys doing it in 2-week blocks, 1-week blocks, month-long blocks? What are you guys planning for that?
It depends on the venue. Christina, do you want to talk about that?
Sure. The shows at Partners Hall are usually a month long,
Okay.
with the exception of the high school students in January. I think
Yes.
that's only 2 weeks and
Yeah.
and that sort of thing. But no, generally they're a month long. And we also have community galleries as well. One at the library
Oh, nice.
and also at hospice. And those shows are 2 months long.
Okay.
And they stagger. So the volunteers only have to go out to hang artwork once a month.
Yeah.
So it seems to work really well. And yeah, we have no problems finding artists to put art on the walls around our town. The hub is another spot that has shown interest in having our members show their work there.
Yeah.
They're responsible for looking after that themselves, so we don't hear too much about it. But we check in every once in a while, and yeah, so we're always looking for other spaces, some alternative gallery type spots for our artists, because that's one thing that they've asked for is for more opportunities to show their work.
Yeah.
We have a square foot show coming up at the, we do a lot more collaborations than we used to.
Yeah.
And the HFA studio is hosting, it's a collaboration with them. And what's the date of that, Christina? The square foot show?
It's the month of June, so it's
The whole month.
part of
Nice.
the art crawl, yes.
the whole month, because we wanted to do it as part of the art crawl.
Very sweet. Very nice.
Yeah, the Square Foot North show is traditionally, it usually only happens on one evening or an afternoon for a couple of hours, and it's a fast and furious kind of sale of 12 by 12 paintings.
Yeah.
And so we're still doing that. We're going to have that event on June 1st in the afternoon from 2 to 4.
Okay.
And we have, I think, 35 artists who have signed up. So that means we're going to have 105 paintings on the
Oh,
walls,
nice. Very nice.
which is awesome. Yeah, it's going to be a very full space. I mean, the HFA studio is a little smaller than Partners Hall, but there's going to be paintings everywhere. It's going to be glorious. So we're still going to have that fast and furious sale at the very beginning, and whatever doesn't sell will be, we'll redo the room, and it will hang for the rest of the month as part of the art crawl.
Awesome.
And 50% goes to the artist, Christina, and the other half is divided between HFA and Haas.
Oh, nice. So it's a bit of a fundraiser for HFA and Haas. And then, like you said, 50% goes to the artist, which is great because then everybody's winning in that situation.
Exactly.
Right.
And yeah, working with Dan and the Huntsville Festival Arts and Christina and everyone, and I could go through the 6 other names, but
we do a lot more collaborations with HFA, with the town, with the BIA, with the chamber.
Yeah.
The other thing we should mention is that anything sold in Partners Hall and at the Summit Center, we also show at the Summit Center.
Yes.
20% of all sales goes back to the town and into an art acquisition fund. And presently we have about to come out as a media blitz about a sculpture in Kent Park.
Okay.
And it involves the town, HFA, Haas, the BIA, and the chamber. And we're going to put out a call for artists to create a sculpture. And the money for that comes from the art acquisition from the 20% sales.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. I love that idea of putting a sculpture in Kent Park. Because it looks very dull and plain right now.
It'll get a little greener, we hope.
That too. Yeah. As it gets older.
But I agree. It'd be nice to have a small sculpture there.
Yeah, a nice little piece of artwork that people can go and appreciate, and it just kind of makes it feel more alive. Right. And sculptures, as we know, when you walk around any city, any town where there's little sculptures, like especially creative ones put up everywhere, it's so cool. You stop, you look, you feel a little more, it gives you a little more, I don't know, there's something about it. makes you feel good about things, right? And so as long as they're not like some gargoyle, but you know.
You never know what people might submit, but hey, a happy gargoyle.
A happy gargoyle, yeah. A friendly neighborhood gargoyle. We probably just gave somebody an idea.
Exactly.
Well, you can submit a proposal, Chris.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I want to see an elephant.
Well, that's not a bad idea.
No.
Elephant's great.
An elephant would look cool in there.
Shade the bench or something, that would
Yeah,
be,
put a big one.
yeah.
I love it. I love it. That's awesome. No, but that's cool news to break out. And that obviously it's going to be coming out more and more as the push goes on for that. And it's good for people to know that when they're buying art like that, especially from the walls there at the Summit Center, and even in the Partners Hall, or just the Summit Center, even Partners Hall,
Yeah.
both, that 20% goes back to an art acquisition fund to help fund art in the community. It's
Yes.
not just, it's not just going here or there and it's gone. It's a
Mhm.
little bit goes here, a little bit goes to the artist, and it helps further the arts in the community.
And there's a committee that looks after that committee. Like, it's not just a town making decisions.
Yes.
The committee made up of artists and art organizations. So it's good.
Very good. That's awesome. Now, I was going to say, since we're kind of on that note, and one thing that I always thought I'd like to see, and when I ran for council, I kind of mentioned this a couple of times about would love to see more like a community art gallery. Yes, I know we have spots where art's up, but something that's just a little bit more art gallery-ish. You know what I mean? Like kind of what the train station felt more like art gallery-ish when it was there, rather than feeling like it's a room in somebody else's building. Is that something that we could look forward to trying to achieve one day?
Well, if somebody donates a large sum of money to the arts communities, that will happen. But I don't see it happening unless, there is a large donation or building or whatever.
Yeah,
There's a lot of money involved in
100%.
It'd be great to have.
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
we would like it. I think in the right circumstance, if the opportunity was presented to us, we would probably jump on it. But
Yeah,
as far as it being a goal that we're shooting for, probably not at the moment. I don't think. Like as Karen said.
gotcha. It's just something. It's something like in your eyes, it would be nice if the opportunity was there. You guys are fluid enough to jump on something, but nothing's kind of in the works. Like not like where we have some sports groups right now working behind the scenes where we're kind of trying to work towards bigger projects. You guys are kind of focusing on all the stuff you can actually, the tangible stuff you can do right now and making that stuff the best it can be.
That's right.
Is that fair to say?
And I would say so. And I would also say too that one of the things that we have been working on is more collaborating. So there's a lot of great arts organizations in Muskoka besides Huntsville Art Society, and they're doing great things. And me personally, I don't believe in reinventing the wheel. So if there's any chance that we can partner with another arts organization to provide basically the same thing together, I think it's better, because I think that when we can pool our resources and work together, we are good examples to society. And and there's so much overlap already, like through MAC and Bracebridge and HFA and what we're doing in other places as well. Then we might as well work together, because we all love art, we all love artists, and we don't we don't need to be in competition with each other. We can just work together.
100%.
I forgot to mention that MAC is part of that art acquisition committee.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
and together, we're just bigger and better. The other thing I wanted to mention is part of the art crawl. It's Dan Watson who's really, behind all of that.
Yes.
And we have a show in Partners Hall that's also part of that, and there will be an outdoor plein air event. And again, it's mostly driven by Dan. We're going to help do that, but they've got resources to do marketing and all sorts of things. So these collaborations are really just making us all better.
Yeah, and I think it's wonderful that everybody's kind of working together, not trying to fight like each other for the, in the sense for the same dollar, but rather saying, hey, let's all just come together, make art the best it can be, support all the artists and art groups we can, and do these fun events. And yeah, and you're right. I remember when it was like me, you, like me, Karen, Elena, um, Morgan, Richter, and then Dan. Remember the first year planning that first art crawl, and it was Dan was so pumped, and he's like, "We're gonna do the art crawl." And he's like, "I want to bring you guys together, and we're gonna plan it."
You know, everything, I can't say enough wonderful things about Dan. Everything he
Yeah,
does is a collaboration.
it's true.
And that's it, he's wonderful that way. And
Yeah,
he's really just made the arts community stronger. Nuit Blanche North is another thing. Half of our artists, you know,
yeah.
applied to be in Nuit Blanche North. And it's all just really, we have this wonderful arts community and arts culture in our town.
Oh, 100%, 100%. And you guys, you know, the work you guys do is amazing because you help promote the individual artists through these shows, through these exhibitions, through Partners Hall, through Summit Center, through working and collaborating with the other groups, like you said, with Mac, with Dan at HFA, with everything. And so that's important because without these art groups in our communities, those artists, a lot of them have a hard time promoting themselves.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
They do.
Right?
On our website, we have biographies of each artist who's a member, and right now we have around 140 members. So
Wow.
they all have biography on our website, which
Nice.
is yeah.
That's awesome. That's
Mhm.
wonderful. And so and on those, and just so everyone knows, because I've been on the website, so I know what's there. There's links to everybody's kind of home studio page or home website page, so you can purchase art. You know, it helps you link to the places you can purchase art or learn more or find out what's going on with each artist. So it's actually quite extensive, and it's really easy for you to go find local artists there and see what they're going. And not all the, like, you have artists that I know it's Huntsville Art Society, but there's artists from throughout Muskoka, part of Huntsville Art Society, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
100%.
Yes. Our secretary on the board, Stephanie, she's up in Berks Falls.
Nice.
I'm actually in Utterson, not
I'm
Huntsville.
in Utterson too. Yeah.
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 That's awesome. But and that's the cool part. Oh, is it Stephanie Aykroyd? Is that
Yes.
who you say? Yeah, I love Stephanie. She's awesome. She's a wonderful lady.
Yes.
That's
We
so
have a lot
fabulous.
of wonderful people on our board, and yeah, as part of our organizing committees, we're got some
Nice.
great volunteers.
Very
We're all
cool.
volunteers, quite frankly.
You're all volunteers. That's
Yes,
really, you're
we
all
are.
volunteers.
We would love to have a full-time person. That would be one of our future plans. I think.
Now, on that note, let's, like, on the future plans, let's look back a bit. So, like, I know you sent me some notes, Karen, but like the Huntsville Art Society officially became the Art Society in terms of that name in '09. Was that what it was?
Yes, it started, first of all, way back when, for 18 years, it was the Huntsville Art Crowd Incorporated.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they had, you know, at one point, 130 members. So it's like we keep reinventing ourselves. We go down
Yes.
and we rise up out of the ashes again. But then we became the Huntsville Art Society, and then we had a space in where the HFA studio is now. That was an art space for 4 years.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we were at the train station for 2 years until they sold it. And that was a collaboration with other community groups, the train station group, and among others.
Yeah.
And now, yeah, now we're in Partners Hall. So we've
That's
evolved
awesome.
again. We're back up and running.
But I love how you're taking the opportunity to, you know, go to these different spots and say, I'm going to work with the town. I'm going to collaborate, and art's going to be everywhere. It's not just one spot. So that's really cool too. And as much as I'd love to see an actual, like, kind of, AGO style or Kelly Montero style gallery here, I understand that the limitations in what you're doing is great. So through the years, like, we talked, your notes said a little bit about the evolution, and there were some grant funding that you guys received many years ago to help keep going, right?
Often it's involved with education and children, and that's still a strong part of what we do, what HFA does, education of I would love to have my kids have grown up in this community because there's so much for young people, scholarships and whatever. But there was one, they got a $30,000 grant from the Ontario government. What was it? Cultural Strategic Investment Fund. So that was called Creativation. And Helena Renwick was the hired as the administrator of that. And it was all about education and young people in the schools. Then I'm trying to find out where the funding came to hire Anna Gabby Trotz. You remember her? And that's when Ass was in the art space, and they hired her as a marketing person. And I think it was for about a year. So I'm guessing that they had a grant, but it's not in my files. So
that's okay. But yeah, so that's cool. So there were some grants over the years that allowed you to do, like you said, with Elena, who's amazing, doing like some educational work with the kids in the schools, which is it's just always huge to do, because reaching out to them at a young age just gets their minds growing in the right way from the beginning. And then being able to have someone come in and be, a marketer, probably a summer or a student grant probably, or something that came in, right? So
do you want to talk about our education committee, because we have quite a large.
Yeah, the Pam Carnahan and Pam McKenzie are the two leads of our Artists in Schools program, and yeah, they're doing a fantastic job. They've really developed this program in partnership with the school boards, which is just another way that we're collaborating with our community partners, and it's important because it's if we can pool our resources, then we can make sure that we have these programs available for the future and ongoing, so that it's not just, one summer, one time.
yeah,
We can keep going and doing it every year. So as a board, what we've, I guess traditionally, the Algonquin Outfitters paddle art contest,
yes,
those funds have gone to fund this program.
oh nice.
And so we've made a commitment as a board to make sure that we have a minimum amount of money set aside in every year's budget for this purpose, so that we can keep it going in the long term.
That's
the
the
artists are all paid, and they're paid a nice sum of money.
Nice.
So we feel good about that, because artists often aren't paid, and there is
true.
A lot of a big list of the artists that we use for different, depending on the medium, depending on what the classroom, the teachers want.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're doing a really good job.
That's awesome. And is there ways people can get in touch and like maybe help, just maybe donate some funds to help with programs like this? Because I know a lot of people believe in these kinds of educational programs and would love to help out.
For sure. Pretty soon we're going to have a donate button on our website, but until that happens, that's around the corner, but it's not there yet.
Nice.
But in the meantime, yeah, they can just send us an email at huntsvilleartsociety@gmail.com. You can reach out to us through the website as well, if that's something you're interested in. We would be grateful.
That'd be awesome.
For sure.
Yeah. And so, yeah, and I always ask stuff like that, especially with, community not-for-profit groups, right? Because some people don't know how to help, but they want to help, but they don't know how to do it, right? And so it's always nice to give them an option and say, hey, if you want to support some stuff, because they could reach out and say, hey, I want to support this much to the education, right? Because I really believe in that. And you can say, oh, that's wonderful. We will take that and use that and help promote more education in the schools and more education programming and whatnot, right? So now, are there do you guys do summer camps or anything like that? Or do you help with any?
Our members do. I noticed recently the March break camps. A lot of our members were the artists that were doing the camps at HFA.
Okay, nice.
I was just talking about that in my Arts Are Us podcast this morning, and we were going through the HFA workshops and summer camps, and they're all, you can go on their site, and you're right, Christina, half the artists are HAS members. So
oh, nice. That's awesome. No, that's great. Yeah, and yeah, I mean, I would assume that that's probably the best way to do it anyways. They have the facility to do all that stuff and collaborate with them, and a lot of the artists are going and helping that are part of your group anyway, part of HAS anyway. So that's great. That's awesome. I'm trying to think what else were we kind of touching on before. Oh, I guess it was just basically what's coming up, what people could look out for. We touched on a lot of that, like, and what's some of the immediate stuff right now, I guess, is the big call for artists for a few of the events coming, right? So,
The next show in Partners Hall is Brenda Turnauer,
oh,
and
nice.
the show's called The Journey. So that will be coming in, what month are we in?
We're almost at the end of March.
For April, yeah.
Okay, awesome.
I had to look at my watch to see what month it was.
So we have all of 2024 is covered every month. And we also have a Christmas marketplace, which it jives with the town. There's a marketplace at Canvas and downtown.
Yeah.
End of November, there's a weekend, and we're doing that in Partners Hall. So that's
Okay, awesome.
yeah.
Awesome. And I guess people can just stay tuned, get involved. If you're an artist out there watching, listening, and you're not part of the Huntsville Art Society, hit the website up, get involved, touch base. As you see, they've got so much going on. You know what I mean?
And
So,
we're looking for a part-time grant writer. So if anyone is good at that and is interested in part-time, we'd love to hear from you.
yeah,
Because that will offer us so much more if we can get a few grants.
100%. And there are a few grants, and you know what? I feel like it is like a part-time to full-time job just doing that.
It is, yeah.
When you look at everything that is required for a lot of the grants and you start looking at all the grants, you're like, oh my gosh, I need somebody to do this. Like,
it is an art. There's a talent involved in writing grants.
100%.
Some of them are very long.
Yeah, and some of them have like these specific kind of almost words, phrases they want to see that you have to know how to navigate the certain grants, right? So
It's getting harder to get money from grants.
it's
Less
true.
available. So it's a good skill to have, and we want you, whoever you are.
And it's even harder to get money from people named Grant.
Okay.
All right, awesome. Well, I think we're almost at the end of the time.
Wow,
And
that went fast.
yeah, it goes so fast. Once you start chatting about fun stuff and good things that you guys are doing, it goes really fast. So I will let you, if you have any final thoughts, here's the chance to say them.
Well, thank you for the opportunity. We appreciate the the exposure, and I'm glad that people get to know more about us, because I think there are a lot of people that don't really know. So thank you.
Awesome. My pleasure.
Yeah, and make sure that everybody comes out to the Square Foot North flurry of activity on June 1st from 2 to 4. It's going to be a good one.
Wonderful.
And also our openings. We have openings once a month, so you could look for them on our website and in our newsletter. If anyone wants to be part of our newsletter, just send an email to us, and it's free, and it tells you everything that we're doing as an organization. So it's well worth it. It's an excellent newsletter, if I do say so myself. Dawn's doing a fabulous job.
Awesome. She is. And Dawn Huddlestone's an awesome lady. So we'll give her some props. And for anyone that's like, oh, I don't remember the email, I'm going to put a link to everything. I'll put a link with my post on muskokaunlimited.com on the podcast where we post the show and everything like that. They'll have links, so you'll able to just go, link, and it'll open a new tab with where you need to go. So people don't have to worry. We'll make it easy and simple for them to find you. And on that note, thank you, Karen. Thank you, Christina. You guys are wonderful ladies, and you're doing wonderful work, and I hope keep it up for as long as you want.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And you too.
Awesome.
You take care.
Awesome. And thank you everyone for listening, whether you're listening or watching on muskokaunlimited.com or on Your TV Muskoka. It's been the Chris O Show. And again, we're looking for another sponsor. So, hit me up, peeps. Hit me up. We need some money. All right. Ciao for now, everyone.
Take care.